everybody, and welcome to your first lecture of the semester. This is going to be a short lecture, and it is going to focus on some of those key concepts to help make sure you are ready for what is an inquiry into embodied artistic knowledge through narrative and autoethnographic performance research. So I want to talk to you first about where personal narrative and autoethnographic research fit into our broader understanding of social science. And social science comes from the Enlightenment. That's where it's rooted. As people learned how to create a scientific experiment to systematically study the natural world, social scientists said, can we design experiments so we can predict human behavior as other scientists predict the behavior of atoms or predict the behavior of single cells? And they found over time that human beings were much less predictable than atoms. Sometimes we do things that don't make sense, that don't stand to reason. Now, there are still social scientists that do positivist research, and they're still looking to see how close can we get to predicting the behavior of a specific demographic of people in a specific situation. But there are other social scientists more like us, that moved away and pushed back and said, rather than trying to predict human behavior, instead, let's try to deeply know and understand human behavior. Let's listen to the knowledge of lived bodies, and if we listen to enough stories, perhaps we will find patterns in those stories that will help us deeply understand what it means to be human, located in a specific body, in a specific cultural context, even if we can't predict all the behavior that might come next. So why do we do narrative and autoethnographic research? We do it to embrace that our bodies live knowledge. We are experts of what it means to live through these bodies, and stories make that knowledge accessible to others. We can never live inside another body, but we can listen, we can empathize, and we can transform the world by changing our behavior based on our empathy and our understanding of others. And this is rooted in existential phenomenology and the belief, the commitment to studying and valuing the body's knowledge. So, one thing that we need to remember as we move through this kind of work is stories always have audiences. When we tell a story, the audience and the storyteller have a moment to connect. And that's why we sometimes will say audiencing as a verb, because it's work. To be able to listen and interpret and then move forward with action. And as we move forward with action, this reiteration of that knowledge and our lived experience as we move through the world helps us understand performativity and the idea that we re-perform the meanings we learn from others in our daily life. We negotiate them. We think them through. If suddenly we get an insight of what it means to live through that other person's body, what it means to be a different race, what it means to be a different gender, a different sexual identity, a different socioeconomic status, as we understand that, we put it within ourselves and we keep negotiating it. Sometimes we might dismantle our old understandings as we rebuild new ones. And the more we get insights, they build on one another, we reiterate them as we interact with more people, and they become common, shared knowledge that transforms society. It wasn't very long ago that the idea of women being able to vote, of people of color having civil rights, of LGBT populations being able to marry, all of these things were foreign. But as we keep hearing stories of what it means to live in that body, and we empathize, and we struggle together as society, we continue to transform. And that is the power of narrative and autoethnographic research, because when people hear a story, because we organize our world through stories, because we organize our lives through stories, it can motivate us to change the world, to be more open, to be more empathetic, to be more inclusive, to be more just. So, and we're going to go through this many times throughout the semester, that there is a healing power of narrative. There is, through all the moments in your lives, you pick a moment that you feel within yourself. We call it visceral because it starts in the viscera, and the part of our body where we feel that sinking of dread, that flutter of hope, that swell of pride. We collaborate with others, working together to tell a story and make meaning that remains susceptible, open to change. Through the power of performativity, as we relive and renegotiate meanings, new insights can form, new understandings, and that hope that we will continue to gain new insights, new truths, new ways to move forward. And as we move forward, we move towards that glimpse of what is considered the performative utopia. And that is what a world could be beyond our story. What is that better, that more inclusive, that more just world that we can imagine, where bodies are valued and included. So I am very excited to be on this journey with you. We are going to revisit all of these concepts over the course of the semester as we listen to, as we compose, as we perform and interpret stories from others and ourselves. Thank you so much, and your readings and your videos to view are up for you on Canvas. I can't wait to interact with you more. Thanks.